Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we're going to be trying to finish our push into Mythic for the month. I've tried out a couple different decks. This month it was kind of a goal to play a off-meta deck to make Mythic. While yesterday was kind of a rough spot, we kind of found a groove with a Boros control in standard, kind of Boros Angels, Boros midrange, whatever you want to call it. I'm 26 and 11 with the deck, and we'll go over the deck in a sec. 70% win rate. And you look at like the stats, really the only matchup that's been somewhat kind of even really is the mono red matchup. And it was actually quite low in terms of win rate, but I've been making some switches to the deck to make it a little bit more efficient against the mono red deck. But we're beating up on soldiers, mono black, mono white. The mono blue kind of tempo-y decks are a little tough, but they're not too prevalent. Selesnya Toxic. It's another match. We only played it twice. It can go either way. But beating up on most decks there. Like I lost the Ivy combo, lost a good draw from Gruul on the play. But if we could kind of control the mono red deck, we're beating up on soldiers, we'll have a good time kind of playing into that. So the deck itself, what are we trying to do with it? And I kind of featured this a couple days ago, but been revising it, and I've been liking this deck. I think it's really good in terms of the current standard meta, which is very aggressive. So with the aggressive meta, we have Brotherhood's End. Opponents are overcommitting to the board often, trying to end the game as quick as possible. Well, on turn 3, you can sweep their board. And you pair that with Depopulate as a sweeper on 4 for bigger things, as well as 1 Farewell on the top end. Your Angel package is the Archangel of Wrath. 4 mana, 3/4, lifelink flying is fine, but really you're playing this to be a 5 or 6 mana spell with Kicker to basically blow up your opponent's creatures and then gain you a bunch of life in the process. Sanctuary Warden is card advantage. That gets you extra bonus with the Fable the Mirror Breaker flipping. You can make copies of it, or just with Wandering Emperor putting counters on it to then take off the counters to get you more card draw. 4 of Wandering Emperor, catch-all removal, tokens, just very, 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 very good card, all things considered. Fable the Mirror Breaker, best card in Standard. We're playing 3 Wedding Announcements, so I've been going between 3 and 4. The card I've been trying out in place is a couple copies of Phyrexian Missionary. So this is to kind of help with the mono-red matchup. So this has a couple different modes. So it's a 2/3 lifelinker for base. So against Swiftspear, it can eat a Lightning Strike early. It basically forces your opponent to devote resources to killing it, or you kind of gain life in the process. You really want to get to turn 5 with this deck, and then you could kind of just snowball off from there. Late game, it can rebuy either, like I had a game where I kept looping Cathar Commandos, blowing up opponents' artifacts, and then you can just rebuy it with the Phyrexian Missionary to get the Cathar Commando back to your hand. It also can rebuy your Archangels of Wrath or your Sanctuary Warden. So you may early game need to loot them with Fable, you can get them back that way there. Lastly, we have some Bank Busters for card advantage, Strangles as some more cheap removal. You'll notice the mana base has access to a number of duels with black mana, and the black mana is for the Phyrexian Missionary, but more so than anything, the Archangel of Wrath. So we'll give this a go, see if we could have a little bit of a hot streak in. I need 10 wins. 10 wins, we are Mythic gamers. So we'll see how it goes. Part of it, like, I do want to run into mono red a bit more just to see if we can, like, I can build the deck to beat mono red consistently. It's just how do we beat the other decks in the same vein. You can always like add more early removal, stuff like that. It's always kind of a balance of things. The opponent goes first here. I think this hand's fine. We can go Sundown Pass. So I have a choice here. Since I drew the second Strangle, I am going to Strangle on 1 here. I have access to Strangle on 2, and then play the Missionary. If we were on the play, obviously a little bit better, but here we want to just control the opponent's board, deal with these early creatures, and then I have access to something like Brotherhood's End. We do need another white source. So they could have Lightning Strike. I think we're just going to get this going this turn. The earlier this could flip over, 4 toughness is quite large in this matchup. And if they go Raiju, they're going to be incentivized with the Raiju to put the counter onto the Phoenix chick. So I take some damage here, but now I Brotherhood's End. I'm left with a blocker, 10 life, and then I can play out my missionary here. We do need another white source, but all things considered, pretty good. I think we attack. I don't have anything in the yard, so we'll just play out missionary. And now we should be stabilized. Gaining 3 life a turn against mono red will be good. And like here, if they're using 4 points of burn, I'm pretty happy with that. Angel should be GG. So you have a lot of incidental ways to draw cards in this deck. I'm going to hold, now that we have the second white, hold the land in case we draw a Fable. Just attack in, draw cards, kill opponent. I do need to just do a quick check on the mana base, because it's come up more than once with the white. I just want to double check the counts. But that's pretty much how the games go. Okay, so it's just variance that game. Because the deck only ever needs 1 red, but double white is more prevalent. So it's just kind of seeing that we are maxed out on duels. Obviously the big thing is there's no Mardu Triome or 3-color land. I'm going to keep this. We do need a land, but I have early interaction, wedding announcement if they're a slower deck. I'm just going to run a naked missionary here. I could start insulating my life total. I really want a land here. This is probably mono white control. Come on. I think the hand's perfectly fine to keep. We play 26 lines because now their wedding announcement's gonna flip before mine. Gotta love it. The old 11 cards, 2 lions. I do have access to depopulate. Probably blow up the restoration here. We're probably just dead this game. They're also just taking the draw cards route. We don't draw land here. Quite frustrating, to be honest. I can get that going. As this will flip. I do want to try to hit just for this depopulate. But I do have access to Brotherhood's End. So if they're using a bunch of resources here, it's probably fine. Problem is they're getting to get card draw. This is actually quite frustrating. 13 cards, you keep 2 lands, not draw a third for like 4 turns. think we just do the 1-for-1 here. Because the Emperor... They got the life linker. That's annoying. Because if we get the announcement out the turn earlier, we can at least play Magic there. But we were spending too much of the turn answering back. I think that matchup's fine. Because the thing... So they'll have Emperors, we'll have Emperors. They'll get a little bit ahead on mana typically, but we have probably... like, we have Fables to mix in there. Guess we go first. So in this matchup, they can do a pump here. I can take them off this. I think we just pass, use Cathar Commando as an ambush, because then I like to have Fable. They could have had like another effect there, but we take our chances. So in this match, we're probably going to bin this Sanctuary Warden, depending on what they play here. Okay, with Squee coming out, we'll block the token. So... actually think we don't bin any. Just gonna get rid of the Squee for now. And then we'll Wandering Emperor. See if they go Raiju here. They go second Squee. So what you want to do here is let them declare first. Because if you play it out first, they can choose to redirect to your Wandering Emperor. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to put the counter onto the 1/1 token. So that way it can trade. They're already incentivized to kill my Reflections Akiki, so you don't want to put the counter on it necessarily. That's fine.
See you later.
They need 3 burn spells. Just draw a bunch of cards. If they don't block properly here, then my Archangel of Wrath can just go face and then kill him that way there. Four to the face. Giant lifelink angel. So like when we draw lands, we win games. And like all things considered, I'd rather hedge and make the deck better against mono red than that mono white mid-range deck. That mono white mid-range deck is not very played in best of one. It's more of best of 3 deck. Okay, so we're gonna keep, hopefully it's a creature deck. So having Strangle and access to the sweepers is important. Okay, if this is mono black, it could be a little bit of an issue. I'd love like a wedding announcement. Bankbuster is also good. Obviously would have liked you last turn, but I don't care so much for Shieldred. We can usually deal with it. It's Phyrexian Obliterator. That's a bit annoying. Here, a couple options. We could take the damage, just do a general sweep next turn. I think we're gonna do that. We'll take the 3. If I wasn't already like incentivized to sweep, because if they go low enough, so it's like bad if they play Gix. Could have duress style effects. We'll take the 3. So I am incentivized here to... So I can actually... just sweep like this, and then keep it in case they have Obliterator. I think I like that line better. Because then next turn I can also draw... I could do Fable, Strangle, Bankbuster. And my life total is not like super at risk here. It's a bit annoying. Okay, got Sundown Pass. They could have removal in hand, but if they're removing the goblin, it's fine. This depopulate will let us catch up. Not having an answer for the Trespasser is a bit annoying. It's also interesting they chose to not exile their own graveyard. So they just go Invoke here. Gets them a couple cards. I need some pressure. Okay, that's actually great. Being able to exile here is big.
Harms my people must contend with me.
They could kill it. But now that Infernal Grasp notably could have killed my Bankbuster. Okay, second Bankbuster's good. So we're just gonna do this because I want to block to keep my Wandering Emperor alive. Having access to the exile can be beneficial. Flesh Gorger's fine. think we can sweep here. Play out the Fable plus the Fable token. And now I just try to, like, the Wandering Emperor with 3 toughness here is good, so they can do the underdog. I think we're just sacking this. They do a good number, obviously. We're gonna draw. I just need like one of my big cards. Archangel. Another Emperor is good actually. Wedding Announcement's also pretty solid. Now we're just gonna try to grind them out. Gonna go Trespasser here. So I want this gone, while I am potentially exposing this to like Brotherhood's End.
You're done.
Okay, second Emperor is good. So I can just maybe it's just Samurai here. No, I think we do this. Force them into potentially some bad block or bad attacks. They could exile 2 things here. So we'll crew here. That could be a removal spell. But even if they kill this, now I crew here. Them not playing Go for the Throat is actually pretty big in this particular matchup, just given that we rely on these Bank Busters. Take the card draw. Yeah, and now we're just gonna run away with it. The Trespassers are pretty solid against us. Well, we do have Brotherhood's End, stuff like that. We do want to play to some element at an instant speed game. And then the Invokes are actually, like, we saw that game at 3-for-1 Des. While we prevented them from the card draw, still just like 1 card answering 3 of our threats, a lot of times our opponents need to choose between what we're playing against. So we're playing against Ragavan. The monkey has found their way. We'll keep this hand. So I'm probably, depending on how aggressive they are, we're probably gonna go flash in the Missionary here. Or the Cathar Commando. They have removal here. Let's see what they do. Okay, so that's a Braid. So that likely means that they have Reflection Akiki. Which is fine, because now I can rebuy my Cathar Commando. In here, depending on what they do, this can be a bait. They're kind of priced. Okay, so Sheoldred. I'm gonna take the draw. So the thing is, I only have... Let's see if I can bait them with a Ganjo. So I could take a turn. It gets me to set up, but I think the proper line here... Because if they have another Sheoldred, it's pretty bad. But I think maybe... We're ahead enough on life. Let's get them to commit one more thing to the board. Because like this with the sweeper, I just get to answer. Bank Buster. I can flash this in. I could bait a crew out of them. And in any case, I still have the mana to blow up the Bank Buster, which I like. I think we're gonna... I'm gonna gain 4 life on this attack anyways. We have access to Strangle and a Ganjo, which is nice. So here, I don't even need to depopulate necessarily. The question is, do I just want to use... So I think we're going to use the Ganjo here. Can't use that afterwards. Because I needed the damage to go through, so now we're just going to kill it like this. Blow up the Fable here. It's a bit of a chance here. We took... Might have been right to just do that. Corpse Praiser come down. They are Grixis. We just didn't see any blue lands out of them. Farewell's a nice catch-up if needed. Just do this. If I could get them low enough on life, then we run them the chance of just hitting them with Archangel of Wrath. Okay, so they got something more than Shieldred. This might be the farewell turn. Yeah, this is definitely the farewell turn. Artifacts, creatures, enchantments, graveyards. Probably, in retrospect, should have blown up the Bank Buster. But like at this point, like I said, we're getting them into the range where Archangel's lethal. Well, negate sucks. We've already seen one Shieldred go away. We draw some spells. I still have 3 Bank Busters in the deck. A Wandering Emperor would be nice. Just not gonna draw spells anymore. We're not gonna draw spells anymore. Two negates and best of 1. Okay, we're just not going to draw spells anymore. Cool. Arena decided this game was over for us. Love to see it. Love to see it. Third negate. They might be on Make Disappear. So they'll have the Fable engine going. I have Brotherhood's End. One more. No, 3 copies of Brotherhood's. So I'm setting a stop on my upkeep. One has drawn 12 more cards than I have. I want to maximize my chance of finding a good card. Okay, Wandering Emperor is good. They have the third negate. That's frustrating. Should have played the land out. They would have had to sack 2 things. We have, like, answers in our deck, but chances are this is a Make Disappear. The Corpse Praiser is just going to provide them a ton of value. It's a bit fun, like, gas, gas, gas. We literally just drew Cathar Commandos and Phyrexian Missionaries. Oh, well, there is all our bank busters. I'm just assuming they have removal for all my stuff, but I also can't play as though they don't. No, we're just dead. That's frustrating. Any big threat would have done miracles there. We had him to 6, Archangel does a whole bunch. Archangel gains us 4 life, buys us a turn. Potentially draws us into the next one. We weren't able to sneak 2 more points of damage in, but sometimes you like to draw cards that are in your deck. This could be mono white aggro, could be soldiers. Mono white midrange. Mirror. Lauren. I think we just take the 2 damage this turn. I'm not too concerned about this, because if they give me a card draw, I'm happy. And I'd rather use this missionary, so if they kill... then I get some value out of it. They can't reanimate with restoration anyways, so we're okay. Where are all the soldier decks today? We might want a copy of a braid in the deck. Opponent looks to be on a similar strategy to us. So laydown's actually annoying. I think at this point, I just get this going. If it was just traditional removal, we're fine, but laydown obviously gets us. Elspeth is going to be problematic for us. Okay, so they go with the look at 7 cards route. I can kill it now, which is nice. Second laydown's annoying. Okay, so we do have Archangel of Wrath that I can get value out of. So this is fine because now I basically just do double kick here. Kick. Kick. The restoration is going to be a bit annoying, but I can't do anything about it this turn. It will have a shield counter on it. Of course, they have ossification for free value. Yeah, these big white decks have not been present in Best of 1. Yeah, I'm just dead now. I got the Lauren loops. don't think I want a braid. Because a braid doesn't do much there. I don't want Lauren. Because it's too slow against mono red. It's again, it's what you, on average, we're expecting to see Toxic, we're expecting to see mono red, we're expecting to see soldiers, mono black. Some of these decks are just not like normal decks that you see in best of one. Okay, so this is likely soldiers. Yep. So Thalia's actually annoying for the deck, so we're just going to kill it. I can get Wedding Announcement going early. I can also get Fable. I think generally I like the Wedding Announcement earlier just because it makes my subsequent creatures better. What is their hand? Just like a bunch of Myrels? So I'm just gonna do this. The reason being I can't activate the Bank Buster. This will give me enough power even if they... So if they go double Lord, then I'm in trouble. Okay, Brittle Cathar is also annoying. Actually, just take the damage this turn. My lords will get bigger. Need to hit a land drop here, I think. Missionary's good. Missionary becomes a 3/4. So Myrell's like the hardest card out of the Soldiers deck to deal with. Obviously we just need a sweeper. So they had another Brutal Cathar, but I still have enough in terms of my creatures to block the Myrell. They could have a Gonjo, but even a Gonjo doesn't prevent the trade. In this I'm only losing 1. And now I have access to Wandering Emperor. Not hitting line drops feels terrible. The problem is we're like not hitting line drops and we're not hitting spells. Second Myrell. Okay, so can make the token, make the Fable. They attack with Myrell this turn. I exile it next turn. Let me see if I just draw Brotherhood's End. I don't. The problem is he can't Wandering Emperor. We'll just pass the turn. Brotherhood's End's really nice because these are all artifacts. So here, I think we just do this. Having a reoccurring lifelinker has value. They do have 13. Land, Wandering Emperor. Okay, so do you do you kill the 2 Brutal Cathars. So they have a Lord, it's a lot of damage, but I can soak up. They have 21, it's 42 damage. So we gotta dodge. They also just have the lands that work. Jeez. Did they draw 4 Brutal Cathars and 15 cards? Of course they did. Because why wouldn't they? So I do need to find... The problem is Brotherhood's End doesn't even do it here. Yeah, we're just dead. Jesus. I have 6 sweepers that we could have drawn into. Might have been right that turn too. Well, I'm dead if I don't Archangel that turn. Because they drew 2 more Brutal Cathars. Because 15 cards, 4 Brutal Cathars. If they don't, then I can buy a couple more turns because I'm gaining 7 life. So they attack, we'd be at 11, take out a couple more things. 'Tis annoying. I should have played that. I shouldn't have played that, in case they have a braid or make disappear. Playing kind of sloppy now. I'm a little tilted. Do that. Poor Brutal Cathars. Come on. So we're probably, regardless, we're gonna flash in the Emperor. Jace is an interesting one to see.
Emotions are distractions. Focus on the facts.
They mill themselves.
We can improve on your ideas.
If that's the case. Cathar Commando comes down, blows up the reflection, so Okay, so that actually works out pretty nice. Because this kind of makes it seem like, hey, I don't have the Wandering Emperor. And I get to draw a card at end step with this Bank Buster. So you do this on end step in case they have discard. So we did see Invoke Despair out of them. We're gonna get this back, blow up the Fable. I think we hold off because I did this attack now. Because if they kill my missionary, we're going to set an end step. Because if they kill my missionary, I'm going to respond and blow up the Fable. If they don't kill my missionary. Let's see what they do here. So I'm going to hold off. I guess it's still bad because they get the discard here. But I might try to slip in this Wandering Emperor. It's just more mana efficient. Okay, so they got rid of Shieldred's Edict, which is nice. And a Strangle. We'll just take the block here. I shouldn't have attacked there. The Invoke Despair is kind of annoying. In case I draw. The white land. They attack, I'm going to block with a Bank Buster. They could have Strangle Invoke. They have the Abrade. They could have abraded anyways to invoke. If they have both, then yeah, they just have both. Opponent's just drawing gas. I'm gonna hold further lands in my hand. I think we've already seen just one Shieldred. I'm just gonna exile here. It's more than likely they have removal.
You are not much of a roadblock.
And I'm just gonna take the 2 damage here. Of course. Of course. Frickin' have it all. Okay, Archangel of Wrath can help. So I'm just gonna differentiate my threats here.
Remember your training.
This gives me another counter. They could loot here, but that means that they have something in hand that's decent, or they're just gonna wait for the Fable loot. Got rid of Fable and Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay, they're digging. So they can't really afford to attack in here.
Edge in this fight.
I need to do this to just try to stabilize. Another Archangel would be great. Obviously a Sweeper would be great. Corpse Appraiser likely finds the removal spell needed. Okay, they're still digging. The Eldritch's such a dumb card. So I can Missionary back the Missionary.
Remember your training.
Okay, so Missionary, back the Missionary. Back the Corpse Appraiser. Get rid of the Reflections. Are we stabilizing? Yeah! Archangel. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great one. Stay safe out there.